Welcome to Pilates is the Answer podcast, where you can discover the power of Pilates and how it can improve every aspect of your life. We are your hosts, Stacey Jernigan
and Pearl Dahmen, and we look forward to introducing and sharing all of the questions about which Pilates is the answer. Welcome back. Pilates is the answer, friends and family. Today I am in Venice, Florida, here at the Island Wellness Center in Venice with my good friend, Jayme Westrom. I've known Jayme for 15 years now. Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah, we met at a women's network event that you were responsible for putting together and just connected. I think it's an energy thing, which is why I'm here. Jayme does a lot of healing modalities, which is something that we like to explore at Pilates is the Answer. And in fact, I'm going to let Jayme share all of the modalities that she works with because there are quite a few and I wouldn't want to leave anything important out. So first, tell a little bit about your background, where you came from, who you are, and then how you got into this kind of energy healing.
Okay, so I don't know if I can name everything that I do
That's
in the
okay.
time that we have, but I actually started as a Montessori teacher, and I did that for 10 years, and I got interested in holistic healing because I had so many students that were suffering from things that were clearly environmental issues to me. So I went back to school and studied holistic nutrition and went through yoga training, Reiki training, and then started studying homeopathy and muscle testing. And that's sort of where things started. And of course, we all have our own injuries or issues that we want to learn how to deal with. And so that was part of my journey too. Now I'm at a point where I can help other people on their journeys. So.
Yes, and I think the Wellness Center here is just recently opened, right?
Yes, we opened May 1st. Exciting. We have an amazing team here of beautiful, so far just women that are here sharing their amazing modalities.
What kind of things are here? I know there's Pilates, which is really cool, and one of the reasons that I was excited to come down and visit with you.
Yeah, so we have a really small, intimate space, but we do have private and semi-private yoga and Pilates classes. We have Thai yoga, Thai massage, Swedish neuromuscular deep tissue massage, medical massage. We have a women's circle going on and sound healing events and breath work happening every month. So it's a whole lot of really fun, exciting stuff in the space.
Okay, and great. So let's get to you.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Where do you focus your healing energy attention these days?
So it's been interesting to kind of create my own little Sunday, if you will, of energy healing. And it's taken me a while to figure out where I start that journey with people. But a couple years ago, I introduced biofeedback scanning to my practice, and that is where I now start with everyone. Okay. So the biofeedback scan is great because it gives us a nice chart with beautiful bar graphs and a ton of information, and the computer's telling us what's going on with your body, and it looks at your teeth, your spine, your organs and glands, your emotions, your sleep, what toxic stressors are present in your body. So it creates a really nice roadmap for us to then work from. And then where the energy medicine goes kind of is dependent on that. And we follow the little breadcrumbs.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I know I've done things with you in the past because we've known each other for 15 years. But the first time I believe I did the biofeedback was about 3 months ago. And we did my chart and you gave me some recommendations on some supplements and some, I guess, tincture. Mm-hmm. And so here I am back after 3 months. So I want to do it again. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go ahead and include it here in the podcast. So if anyone's interested, they can kind of see. So let's get started. You can kind of talk our listeners through as you kind of direct me what to do. Sounds good?
I'll do my best.
All righty.
So this is a Zyto hand cradle.
And what she's showing here, because some people are just listening, it looks like a little hand that you can lay your hand on top of. So it's got 5 little metal fingers that you lay your hand on, and then the palm of your hand sits on another little metal piece. And this is what does the magic, right?
That's right. So it works the same way that a lie detector test works. It uses something called galvanic skin response. So it's actually sending lots of questions to your body. Just they're not like where were you on the night of May 15th?
True or false, right?
Yeah.
Are you lying? No, this is a different kind. Nice.
Yeah.
I did not realize that it was the same kind of technology that lie detector tests use.
Yep.
So because we rely on that, gives this some more credibility, right?
Yes. And it's about as effective as a blood test. They say it's 84% accurate. So you're getting a pretty accurate result. And then people will always see that in the results because they'll go, oh yeah, I know that's going on with me. Oh yeah, I know that's
and
going
then
on.
no pricks from needles.
No needles. So it's great for children or anybody that doesn't want a needle, which is most of us.
Exactly. Okay, so what's happening here?
Okay, so right now it's just, it's basically sending lots of questions to your body really rapidly, and your skin is actually responding in a positive or a negative, which we extrapolate as ones and zeros. And then the computer takes all that data and it turns it into pretty graphs for us.
So questions. So it does, obviously it's not asking specific questions, but can you get kind of an understanding of what kind of question it would ask?
Yeah, so it sends balancers and stressors, and then your body is giving a response to those. So if, let's say, it's getting an energetic response from your liver, and your liver is saying that it's not so happy, it's going to send some items to see if they will help correct the liver. And some items, your liver is going to say, yes, this feels great to me. And other items, it's going to say, that's not really what I want right now.
So those are like a vibration electronic question that it's sending out. And then the body is responding either positively or negatively to that electronic vibration.
Yes, that's a great way to explain it.
Okay, good. That makes sense. So kind of like when we first started, you used to do muscle testing.
Yeah.
So similar to that type of thing.
So I still do muscle testing. Yes, this is a digital way to do muscle testing.
Okay.
I still do muscle testing, but that is my second piece of the puzzle. So what I found is having the data is really helpful for people to see like the overall picture. And a lot of people aren't familiar with muscle testing still. It's still very new to a lot of people. It's also referred to as kinesiology or dowsing. So I basically consider myself a physical body dowser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll do my dowsing once I've seen this data too, and it helps me kind of pinpoint where I want to test. Typically, I would test 37 acupuncture points on the body and figure out where the organs and glands are happy or where they need support. And this allows us to kind of hone in on, okay, we know that these 5 organs and glands are the ones that have the most stress on them. So let's go there and support them. And then we might use some of the information here for the muscle testing as far as what supplements to take. But I still want to check in. Just because the computer says it doesn't mean this is the end all be all answer for me. I also want to see how your energy field reacts to those supplements.
And so testing the energy field is when you do the muscle testing then, or do you have other ways of testing the energy field?
That's mainly how I test the energy field. Yeah. Okay. You can test the actual organ and gland point, but you can also test off the body. So you can test how energy is coming in or out of the body.
So like your personal space. And I suppose some people have bigger personal space or closer personal space depending on their energy.
Yes. So we want our energy field to be big and strong, not collapse. And there are lots of things in our environment that are collapsing our energy field. So that could be a chemical we're exposed to. It could be fungus and molds in our environment. It could be something spiritual. It could be something emotional. So my job is to kind of go in and find your circuit breaker switches and see which ones are off and flick them back on.
Oh, wow. That sounds, which I know that's what you've been doing, but we've never talked about technically how you get there. It's just like, Jayme does her magic and I feel better and I feel more, more alive and happier. And so I know that, and I think you still do this. One of the first things that we did was your financial alignment, where you did the energy testing. And it was kind of fun. We actually went to Ringling and we did it up at the Ringling
The
Museum
Cottazon.
at the outside of the Cottazon, which
Yeah.
kind of made that even more magical. But you can do that in a regular office too. It's not requirement to go there.
Yeah,
But
they
yeah.
don't let you walk the grounds there for free anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I haven't been in, I have
Everything
this beautiful
changes,
space
yeah.
here now. So.
Yeah, exactly. Why go all the way that far north? No, it's beautiful here. So we're still working, but it looks like it's getting pretty close to the end of the questions. I don't know. I'm seeing a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And some scanning happening. So I think
here we are.
wow, that was perfect timing. So now you actually, the conversation that we had was while this was processing. So it gives people kind of an idea of how long it actually takes.
Yeah, it's about 5 minutes.
Can I remove my hand?
You can take your hand.
Okay.
And this is actually going to be an amazing report to look at, Pearl.
Well,
you're going to be really happy that this is what your scan was today. So the first page of the Zytoscan shows you.
I'm gonna. I know. Let's talk about it. And
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is get a copy of this so I can zoom in on it
and
show later. So you just talk about it. We'll add it to the video later.
Okay. So it looks at 198 biomarkers. And you actually have 190 that are in range and only 8 markers that are out of range.
Wow.
And I have to take a moment to say that this is the highest scan I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
It's the best scan I've ever seen. So
partially because of you, because I was here. I don't know how many were out the last time. We'd have to look.
I think it was around 126.
Wow. So we've brought
126 were in range.
Okay. So we've brought almost 65 of them, or let's knock a few off. We brought over 50 into range in the last 3 months. Mm-hmm. That's way cool.
Yeah. So that's the fun about people coming back and being consistent, is that they really do see their progress. And so this is amazing. I love this. First page is going to show us what supplements are going to bring the rest of the markers in range that are still out. So the first thing we see is EPA DHA, which most people know as fish oil or omega-3s.
Oh, okay.
Really helpful for inflammation. So if you're working out a lot, that can be helpful to bring inflammation down. I usually suggest people take it at night when their inflammation is the highest, because your circulation's not going, you're not moving around. So things that are anti-inflammatory, calcium, magnesium is a good thing to take at night. DHA is another one.
So curcumin, which is good for that, is better to take at night. I've been taking it in the morning, first thing with my morning supplements. Sounds to me like I need to move it to at night to make it more effective.
Yes, I would. And that's the next thing that shows up for you is fermented turmeric. So turmeric has curcumin in it. The fermented turmeric makes it even more bioavailable for your cells. We're not going to have a whole lot to talk about with all of these markers in range.
It's all right. What that is a testament to is that I have spent many years trying to maintain good health. Mm-hmm. And what it's telling me is I've done a good job over the last 30, 40 years.
Yes, your listeners should be listening to you. I hope I look as good as you when I am your age.
Oh, well, let's see. What else do I have to take a look at? Yeah.
So much energy. So this page, it looks at 4 core body systems: your detoxification system, your gastrointestinal system, your hormone endocrine system, and your immune system. So here is where we first see your range. So everyone's range is different based on how your body responds to the stressors and balancers. So we can see that all of your bars are in range.
Okay.
We also see negatives and positives here. We look at all these numbers like absolute values. So a negative doesn't necessarily mean that something's low.
Okay.
And then we have panels for diet, nutrition, hydration, inflammation, mental, emotional stress, sleep, and toxics. Yeah, once you're in the green,
when you're in the green, you're in the green. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
So the next piece breaks all of these categories down and shows you a lot more detail. First, we have the detoxification system, and it's going to show you what the stressors are that are causing your detoxification organs to have a harder time. We see here that heavy metals, they're the only thing that show up, which means that your body's been doing a great job of processing things. What we could potentially see are things like fungus and mold, mycotoxins, glyphosates, pesticides, candida. we don't see anything else here except heavy metals. So that's a clear indicator that that is where your focus should be right now.
Okay.
Is doing something that can help chelate what's there.
Let's see, what else do we have here?
Okay, gastrointestinal system stressors. So now we have two things. We see large intestine and we see minerals. So minerals has a 0 next to them. Zeros mean either that the item is in optimal balance or it's way out. So it's not giving us a very specific reading. So this is another opportunity for you to think about what you're doing. Are you taking minerals every day? Is it possible you're getting too many minerals?
Well, I was taking them, but I haven't. I finished those supplements and I let them go. So maybe they're still in my system.
So it can be, some of it's a guessing game, based on what you know about yourself. And I don't see minerals suggested as a gastro balancer. So to me, I'm going to lean on the side of maybe there's a little bit of mineral stress, which is unusual. But if you've been doing them consistently for a long time,
several months, yeah,
it's good to rotate your supplements and things. And same thing with foods. A lot of people are in the habit of eating the same thing every morning for breakfast, and that is actually a problem for your body because your body needs nutrients from many different sources. And when you continuously eat the same thing every day, your body starts to see it as a poison and can actually build up a food intolerance to it.
Okay. So it's good. Well, nutritionists, when you read things, they always say variety of colors, variety of things. Eating the same thing is easy because you don't have to think about it. But I get that. And I can tell it's not just with foods. I can tell my body with supplements. So I either change the kind or the brand. So it feels new again, because about 3 months is where I go, I don't know if this is feeling any different. So
yeah. And when I have somebody start a supplement protocol, usually we're trying to correct something, and the supplements that I use really work. They're pharmaceutical grade. They're all natural. They're clean. There are no excipients, no binders, and they're actually going to correct what's going on in the body. So once you've corrected that thing, you don't need to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Then you need to find the next priority in the body and
like an
work
onion.
on that. Yes.
Peeling the onion. Yes.
And we see some bentonite clay in here, which is another great thing for pulling out heavy metals. Bentonite clay is really an amazing, very simple supplement. If you look at a clay molecule under a microscope, it's full of thousands of little channels. And clay is so negatively charged that it attracts the positively charged free radicals in your system. So that's all your metals, your candida, your fungus and molds, all that stuff gets sucked into those little channels like a magnet, and then your body is just able to excrete them.
Oh, wow.
So clay is really effective. It's something I recommend for children a lot of times because it's gentle, and you just have to make sure you're well hydrated when you take it because it's a binder. Then immune system stressors, we see large intestine again, turmeric, so help with bringing down inflammation in the intestines. We see a probiotic here, which makes sense. We see the Medi-Clay again, which is going to help pull out any offenders that are stuck in there. And then just greens and fermented mushrooms.
Okay.
So whole foods, really.
Large intestine keeps coming up, which makes perfect sense to me because I do struggle with digestive.
Yeah, and we see the top inflammation stressors for the large intestine, EPA, DHA, and turmeric. So both of those are anti-inflammatory. So that's going to help bring the inflammation down. And then the next two are really correctors. One's going to add good flora back in.
Nice.
And the other is going to help clean up what doesn't belong there. So this is really interesting too. So there's a mental emotional component to this. And this is one of my favorite parts. And this is something that a lot of people don't know how to address. So in most visits, I do some type of emotional clearing because it shows up on here. And so if we can pinpoint what the issue is, then we can move it out of the cell. And then it's not stressing that organ or gland system. In your case, you have all of your emotions in normal range.
Okay.
That's highly unusual.
Even
what's
for
your
me, I don't know if there's a secret. I just chilling today. I don't have anywhere I have to be at any specific time. I think I get stressed when I have expectations. And today it's one of those time doesn't matter. When time doesn't matter and I have no deadline, I can be calm. Must be it. Because I would suspect when you do this bio feedback, it can be different on different days depending on what's going on with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So today's a good day as far as stressors for me.
Yeah, that's great. And there's also something to be said for paying attention to your health like you do, and you make sure you eat clean, you take good supplements, and you exercise.
Yes.
And when you're doing all those things, it's a lot easier to balance our normal daily stressors. So we all have the same emotions, we all have the same stressors. It's how is our body able to handle them?
Okay.
So endocrine disruptors keeps showing up with a zero next to it. So an endocrine disruptor is something that's going to throw off your hormones, your endocrine system in some sort of way. One of the biggest endocrine disruptors that I see are when people are drinking out of plastic water bottles. Because or it's not even the plastic water bottles, it's just so much of our food supply is in plastic at some point in its journey to us. And the plastics mimic estrogen in our body.
Oh.
So they act as imposter estrogen, and they'll actually attach to our receptor sites. So our good estrogen can't get to where it needs to go. So sometimes a little iodine reset is helpful for people that are struggling with thyroid, parathyroid things. This Medi Body Pack is indicated for the heavy metals. The Medi Body Pack is one of my favorite tools that I have. So I refer to that as mud packs.
Ah, okay. And you did want to talk about mud packs.
Yeah, so this is our opportunity.
Perfect.
So mud packs are an amazing way of pulling toxins out of the body via the skin, but more importantly than that, they can be used to restore interference fields in the energy system of the body. So this was really an important discovery for me because I've had 5 major head traumas.
Oh,
and
wow.
The regular doctor couldn't tell me how to help my head heal besides, Tylenol or an aspirin.
So you had a lot of headaches?
I didn't have headaches per se, but I just knew that the healing it wasn't complete. And I felt like there's disruption in my head because of these injuries. So with the muscle testing, you can actually track down where that injury is reflexing to. So you can muscle test where the injury is, and then find, when you stress tap this point, where else it's going in your electrical field. So whiplash is one of the most common ones. I see people C1 and C2 out all the time in the scan. Lots of us have been rear-ended or in a car accident or some kind of sports injury at some point. And whiplash sedates your liver. So lots of people have detoxification issues because of a 20-year-old whiplash injury that they would never connect.
No.
So that is one of my specialties that makes me a very unique practitioner, is I'm able to track down these interference fields in the body. And it can be from a tattoo, piercing, vaccine points, people that have had IVs, blood transfusions, hysterectomies, C-sections. All of those things can create this blockage. And so those meridians that are actually channels of hyaluronic acid flowing through to your organs and glands and bringing them energy, they get stuck and jammed. So there's a short circuit that's happening all the time. So the Medi Body Pack or the mud packs are what are very, very useful for clearing up those things. They can help people that have had something long-standing like a headache or a sinus issue or just something that is never resolving.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask, how do they work? What do you do? What is mud pack? It sounds to me like you pack mud on your body. So how do they work?
So the mud goes on the site of trauma, and then there's a download. All your meridians download through your hands and feet. So it reflexes to one or all of the 1, 2, 3, sometimes all of the downloads. So you find the corresponding downloads where the reflex pattern is, and those get something called QC oil on them, which is a tridosha quantum coherence oil.
Okay.
So that goes on the download points, and then after about 10-15 minutes of the mud pack, that gets cleaned off and you get a castor oil pack on the same point. And then after you're all done, you go outside, you get some solar radiation, stand on the
sun
grass, yeah, for about 5 minutes, and drink plenty of water. You make sure your liver point's staying on, so you might take some turmeric before and after. And then afterwards you can retest the point, and you'll feel with the muscle testing that energy field is very, very strong now.
So this is something that you administer, or do you send someone home to do it?
It's better to do it in the office. I've tried sending it. I do send them home sometimes, and especially if people have, things in sensitive areas that they need to take care of, that goes home with you. But what I find is it's easier to do it in the office because people have a hard time being not so much compliant, but it's confusing when you're trying to do it at home on your own.
Exactly. That's part of the reason I asked. It looks like we're just about to the end of the report. Well, I am tremendously pleased because the work that I've done over the last 3 months has shown up. Looks like I have a little more, but it's actually in the area where I felt like I needed to be focusing some more attention. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm not sure how long we've been talking, but it feels like a while. So I am going to sign off to our listeners. But I do think I want to come back and explore some more, because this is having your energy improved, cleared, take away the disruptors. This is all things that we all need to do. And it's not an easy thing to figure out, nor is it easy to find a practitioner, someone that has that healing ability when it comes to those energies. So Jayme, thank you so much for spending thanks for spending time today. And to our listeners and friends and family at Pilates is the Answer, please, if you have any questions, want to get a hold of Jayme, I will have information in our descriptions that you can reach out to her. Otherwise, listen, because I think I'm coming back. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for tuning in. For more information, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Pilates is the Answer, and on the web at pilatesistheanswer.com.
Feel free to message us with questions for which you are searching the answer. We would love for you to follow our podcast, leave a kind review, and lots of stars.